For the past 20 years, I've run a residential construction project management business, acting as what's called an owner's rep. So I'm a professional advisor hired by homeowners building a custom home or doing a high-end remodel, and I help them assemble their team, builder, architect, interior designer, and then I direct that team and guide the project to completion, advising my clients along the way. So let me ask you a question in the audience. How many of you have built a home or done a remodeling project in the past? Okay, now for those of you that have, for how many of you was it a stressful experience? Most of you, right? The residential construction process can be filled with confusion and conflict. And the projects never seem to get finished on budget or on schedule. Over the years, I've built some pretty amazing homes. The largest I've done was this 27,000 square foot mansion that took 5 years to construct. I finished that project about 12 years ago, right before the Great Recession hit. And after that, my business really dropped off for the next several years. So about 6 years ago, I found myself in a career crisis. I really enjoyed what I did in helping people through their projects, but I wasn't always enamored with the construction process or the product. Many of the traditional approaches in residential construction are based on fear and mistrust, which leads to blame and conflict, which didn't sit well with my personal perspectives and values. And with the growing awareness of climate change, I started feeling guilty about building these giant homes which weren't doing anything to help the environment. So I took this downturn in my business as the universe's way of telling me I needed to find a new direction in my career. So I hired a life coach and I set off to discover a new career where I could make a difference in the world. As part of this journey, I attended a week-long meditation retreat at a Buddhist monastery in San Diego that was founded by a Zen master named Thich Nhat Hanh, who I've studied under for the last 20 plus years. While I was on the retreat, I heard about a new nunnery complex that the monastery was planning to construct. And so I volunteered to help with the project management. This volunteer position grew into a 2-year paid job where I assumed full responsibilities for the project and worked closely with the monastics during the design and the construction. The monastery is very environmentally aware, and the nunnery project incorporated many sustainable design concepts and green building approaches in the project. For example, the walls were actually constructed of bales of straw, which made the rooms super insulated and energy efficient, as well as recycling an agricultural waste product. In working with the monks and nuns throughout the construction process, I was impressed at how they really practiced what they preached. They were very centered and intentional in focusing on the process during the project, and not just focused on the final product. By working with the monastics, I began to discover how I could manage my other construction projects by incorporating mindfulness concepts and Zen perspectives. I also developed a new approach to construction called collaborative construction, which is built on trust and communication, and is very different than the traditional approach to construction, which involves lots of blame and conflict, like I mentioned before. Now, the process of building these straw bale structures entails stacking bales of straw on top of each other to create the walls, and then covering the walls with this muddy mixture of earth and clay plaster. Because this process doesn't require any great technical skill, but just a lot of hands, we built these walls in a series of community events at the monastery, much like an Amish barn raising involves all of the families in a town. At one of these events, I gave a presentation on how we'd incorporated mindfulness concepts into the design and the construction of the buildings, as well as my approach to the project management. The presentation was a success, and I was asked to give it again at other construction organizations. So I'm now known as the Zen Builder, and I give presentations to various construction organizations and building conventions throughout the nation on how to reduce conflict in residential construction projects. I've also become a business coach, working with residential contractors, helping them improve their client interactions and reduce the drama with their homeowners. I also still build estate homes, but I incorporate the green building concepts I learned at the monastery project to reduce the carbon footprint of these projects. And I use my Zen principles and mindfulness concepts to make the process less stressful for everyone involved. I find that my collaborative approach to project management reduces conflict and is helping to change the residential construction industry. As part of my collaborative process, I use a cloud-based construction project management system, which now allows me to manage construction projects outside of Southern California as well. I just recently completed a project at Carmel by the Sea in Monterey. 6 years ago, I thought I was going to have to quit my job and start a new career to find direction in my life. Instead, I discovered a way to incorporate my spiritual perspectives into my existing career, and in the process, transform the direction of my business and make a positive impact in my industry. For years, I had treated my Zen training as a personal journey, and I kept my professional career separate from that practice. But it was through discovering how to incorporate that perspective into my professional life that I was able to unexpectedly create a fulfilling career without changing my profession. To steal a line from Billy Crystal in City Slickers, I didn't need to leave my job to find purpose in my life. I just had to learn how to do it better. Thank you very much.